So there's been a lot of DIY skate spots, skate parks popping up all over the place lately. They're in Orange County, LA, here in San Diego, North County area. We have this DIY skate park, which I'm gonna give you a tour of. Check it out, check out some of the obstacles. And then at the end of this video, I wanna talk a little bit more about why I think there's gonna be even more DIY skate parks and skate spots. The more skate parks we get, the more that people want to build these DIY skate obstacles, these skate areas. And I think there's a good reasoning for that. Let's jump into a little tour of this DIY skate spot and then dive into a skate session, and then we'll talk about why I think this DIY skate boom is starting to happen. So yesterday after work, I stopped by the House Skate Shop in Vista, and they were telling me about this DIY spot. So we're checking it out right now. Seen a bunch of people killing it over here. I think Zero Dude, a bunch of people are contributing. You got this mattress right here, which is basically a manual pad, and it's kind of cracking away, as you can see, because yeah, it's a mattress. Although it's like the perfect size and like height and length and everything like that, a mattress, it's just it's gonna shake. Basically, it's gonna vibrate as you add the concrete, so it's gonna be hard for the concrete to really hold solid. And then they have one of my favorite obstacles. I think it's a good thing to build at any DIY spot to get it going. Cinder block ledge with 2 curbs on top, the red curbs. That thing looks really fun. I'm excited to hit that thing. Got some obstacles laying on the ground over here, flat rail, looks like it can be installed anywhere. And then you have this really cool, I don't know what you call it, it's kind of like a jersey barrier, plastic jersey barrier, but it's really low, so you can ollie over it, you can skate it on the top. It's a really fun obstacle. You should actually incorporate those in skate parks. And then they just finished this quarter pipe. This quarter pipe looks really good. Actually looks really solid. You can grind off the side of it, which is really nice, and it actually has like proper coping on there, which is like pretty impressive. Most DIY spots, they just go with like concrete because it's much easier, cheaper. But yeah, the fact that they put like metal coping on the quarter pipe is really cool. And you can launch it over it. Like you probably launch over the bush behind it. There's a lot of options. You can probably hit this like pull right here, like launch off, fast plant the pull. I mean, there's a lot of options here. It's really cool. Then they built this obstacle, which we were trying to build a while back, a couple of videos back, which is like this spine ledge angle iron thing right here. It's really cool. Basically cinder blocks, angle iron with transition on one side, no transition on the other side. Really rad spot. And this might be my favorite thing here. Kind of a unique obstacle. They basically propped up some concrete and made a bank and then threw a curb right on top. I think that's such a cool way to build a spot. And it's not perfect, but I think that is gonna be a lot of fun, especially that parking block on top. That looks like it's probably the newest obstacle. And they do have some rules here. It's really simple. You basically clean up your trash, clear the gate, make sure the gate is clear. Nobody's like, you know, being an obstruction to the gate, and to not skate the spot that's next door. I don't want to say exactly what it is, pretty clear what it is, but yeah, not to skate that spot. So you keep this. And then they have this bank right here that goes up to a ledge. It's pretty gnarly. It's like a long, pretty lumpy bank up onto a ledge. Really cool, very primitive build. I mean, this is skaters putting things into their own hands, and I think that's always rad. I love to see it. To me, it's like contributing to the community. Otherwise, this would just be a closed off parking lot where like, who knows what would be happening. You know what would be happening. Now there's skaters trying to tell everyone else to pick up their trash and keep the spot clean so that they can just enjoy this space. I think ultimately that's what's funny about, like, especially here in California, space is so valuable, property is so highly perceived as equity. So having, you know, a space like this for people just to exist and do their thing and habitate it, it's obviously temporary, is really cool. probably hard to see on camera, but this whole area, this parking lot right now is so clean. Like honestly, where all the ski obstacles are super clean. And if you look out to the other area where there aren't ski obstacles, or even other parking lots that are over here that are empty, they're just infested with trash and dump because, you know, going to the dump costs money. People like to just dump their stuff off at a parking lot. And that's kind of a common theme you'll see, is that the skaters sort of regulate the space, and this space is nice and clean. It almost just looks like a healthy environment to be in. So this spot in particular is blowing up right now. However, it's not blowing up too fast. And I think that's because there are a lot of skate parks or skate areas around this zone. There's a lot of skaters. However, what's happening here is what I think we'll see more of in the future. It's basically when skate parks start to happen, you find more and more skaters. There's more of a safe area for people to skate. However, if you're the type of skater that's been skating for a long time, skate parks are a really good place to go and start your day and enjoy skateboarding. But a place like this environment where it's a DIY skate spot, skate park, it's not as regulated, it's not as enforced, there's not a fence around it besides the fence that's blocking it off from being a private property and people coming in and building. But the overarching point that I'm getting at is that it's an environment that skaters are more familiar with outside of a skate park area. And if you're older like me and you go to skate parks, there is this sort of interesting thing that's starting to happen to where it's becoming more sporty, sport feeling, and that's okay. I have no problem with that. I think it was Anthony Parpolato that made a really good article that's sort of touching the point that I'm getting at right now, but you almost feel like at a certain age, it feels sort of slimy and sleazy to be at the skate park and like being mad that like kids are in the way of skating rails. So I think that's what I'm getting at, is that like people enjoy these DIY skate parks in these areas and just building their own sort of hub and their own space because they can enjoy it. They sort of can enforce their own etiquette, where I think skate park etiquette is a lot more blanket. It's more general than what skaters really want it to be. However, we're growing as a culture, so I think we kind of realize like, okay, the skate park can be for these sort of like first chapter, first door into skateboarding area, and then the DIY skate parks and the DIY spots can be where we sort of go to after they've already gone to the skate park. They've gotten comfortable at the skate park. Now they want to dive deeper into the culture of skateboarding. So that's why I think we're going to see even more DIY skate spots and DIY skate parks, big booms of skaters just taking things into their own hands, because that's what skateboarding is all about. It's all about like, you know, getting a crew together, getting a community together, and just doing things out of scratch, out of necessity, out of pure joy and excitement. And that's what we see happening here. I haven't been here in about 2 weeks. I came back to film this dialogue, and there's already been new spots. There's people bringing their DIY obstacles here, flat rails, boxes, pull jams, wallies, whatever it is, to add their piece and contribute to this space, because that's part of the etiquette that's happening here. Is like people respect each other a little bit different than in a skate park. So yeah, I think that's where we're going to see even more DIY skate spots and skate parks popping up, because there's so many skate parks, but people feel, or skaters, like core skaters, I hate using that word, might feel a little alienated at a skate park. They don't feel like that's actually their space, even though it is. And then a DIY skate park really makes them feel like they should be there. They have more purpose there, and just makes them feel special. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let me know down below, why do you think there's so many skate spots and skate parks popping up? Is it because of this mindset, or is it just because there's more skateboarding and skateboarding is more accessible than ever? So yeah, smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're not already. Shout out to all the people out there building skate spots and skate parks. Shout out to everyone that's contributed to this skate spot. Just wanted to make this quick video to say thank you and just talk about my perspective of what we're seeing right now with this big boom of DIY skate spots. See y'all next one. Smash.